At some point, someone has pulled you aside and told you about an investment you absolutely have to look at. A property deal, a share someone's brother-in-law is buying, a crypto token that's about to go through the roof. Something that sounds almost too good to be true. So in this video, I want to talk about how to actually think about these situations without dismissing them completely and without letting them derail your retirement. Because the answer isn't to never take a risk, it's to understand what kind of risk you're taking and make sure it's one you can actually afford. And there's a surprisingly simple framework for that. This comes up more than you'd expect in financial planning conversations. Not always directly. Sometimes it's a client mentioning something almost in passing, something a colleague mentioned, something they read in a forum, something their neighbour swears by. And the question underneath it is always the same. Should I be doing something with this? This is general in nature, so it's important to consider your own situation. But what I'm going to walk through applies broadly enough to be worth understanding. Let's start with why hot tips feel so compelling. Because they do. And pretending they don't misses the point entirely. When someone you trust, a friend, a colleague, a family member, tells you they're making money on something, there's a very human response to that. It's not greed, or not only greed. It's the fear of missing out. There's a sense that everyone else is in on something, and you're the one standing on the sidelines. And that feeling is one of the most powerful forces in financial decision making. It bypasses logic, it bypasses planning, it creates urgency where there shouldn't be any. I've sat across from genuinely smart, well-prepared people who made decisions they deeply regretted because of exactly this dynamic. Not because they were naive, because they were human. And the investment that looked compelling in a conversation looked very different 6 months later. So here's the framework I'd suggest, and it's simple. Before you act on any speculative investment tip, ask yourself one question. Am I genuinely comfortable losing this money entirely? Not uncomfortable, not a bit nervous, entirely. Because that's what speculative investing actually is. It's a gamble. Not always, not every time, but when the source is a mate, a forum, a social media post, or someone's brother-in-law, the information you have is almost certainly not better than what the market already knows. And the market prices things accordingly. This isn't about being negative. Some speculative investments work out. Some do make money on hot tips occasionally. But the ones who come out ahead aren't the ones who acted on every tip. They're the ones who treated it exactly like what it is, a gamble, with money they were genuinely comfortable losing. So let's talk about how to actually handle this in practice. Because the right answer isn't to dismiss every opportunity and never take a risk. The right answer is to create a structure that lets you take calculated risks without threatening the plan. Some financial planners call this a satellite portfolio. I just call it your play money. A small defined portion of your overall wealth, capped at whatever you're genuinely comfortable losing, that sits completely separately from your retirement assets. It might be 2% of your portfolio, it might be 5%. The exact numbers matter less than the principle. This money is for speculation. This money is for the hot tip. This money is for the thing your mate swears by. And if it goes well, great. And if it doesn't, it was always money you were comfortable losing. The retirement plan remains completely untouched. The mistake I see isn't usually people investing in something speculative. It's people investing in something speculative with the money that was supposed to be doing something else. Super, they were going to consolidate. Savings earmarked for something important, an offset account that was reducing their mortgage. The investment thesis might have been reasonable, but the money wasn't play money. And when it didn't work out, the damage wasn't just financial. It set back plans that had nothing to do with the tip. There's also something worth saying about where these tips come from, because the landscape has changed significantly. It used to be the barbecue conversation, the bloke at work, the neighbour with the investment property. Now it's Reddit threads, Facebook groups, YouTube channels with hundreds of thousands of subscribers talking about stocks and crypto and property deals. And the volume of that information can make it feel like everyone knows something you don't. They don't. What they have is an opinion. Sometimes it's an informed one, sometimes not. But an opinion is not the same as an edge. And acting on opinions with retirement money is one of the fastest ways to undo years of careful planning. So the practical takeaway is this. If you want to take a punt on something, go ahead. Decide in advance what you're comfortable losing. Set that money aside deliberately. Keep it completely separate from your retirement assets. And then, whether it works or not, your financial plan is unaffected. That's not boring, that's smart. Because the goal of retirement planning isn't to avoid every risk. It's to make sure the risks you take are the ones you can afford. And the ones you can't afford stay well away from the money that matters most. This is general in nature, so it's important to consider your own situation. Because everyone's financial position is different, but the pattern I've described shows up consistently, and the people who navigate it best are the ones who make the distinction clearly before they need to. If you're approaching retirement and want structured guidance rather than figuring this out alone, I work with Australians in exactly that position. You can find details below.